With the release of the final trailer for Black Myth Wukong, I decided to sit down and go through my top 5 things that I'm really looking forward to about this game. And I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone who subscribed to the channel, everyone who checked out my reaction to the final trailer for Black Myth Wukong, and I'm really excited about this game. And if you'd like to check me out playing it when it's released, I will be streaming it live on Twitch and on YouTube as well, so you can hit me up on both of those. So if you want to see that, come follow me over on Twitch at BoyManBeard, or subscribe to me here on YouTube, BoyManBeard. So with that being said, let's get right into my top 5 things that I'm excited about in Black Myth Wukong. Scenery is such an important part in any game, and especially a game like this that is built on areas and worlds that come from Chinese mythology. Now, I'm not versed in Chinese mythology and I don't really know much about it, so to give my take on it would be kind of disingenuous. But the environments that have been crafted here to suit each and every enemy, each and every boss that I've seen throughout all the trailers in all of the Black Myth Wukong's design cycle have really got me excited about the world we're going to explore and that the world we're going to traverse. You know, ramping through the snow, trudging through the desert, and interacting with scenery and objects within that world to get through the game itself. It just really excites me, and just every trailer is not. We always get lost in the combat of it. We always get lost in the hype of how it plays and how it, you know, how it's going to feel when we're attacking and everything else around those sort of mechanics. But really, the environment, you know, that we're going to be in really does set the tone for the rest of the game, and going from new area to new area and fighting unique enemies that are in that area make scenery such an important part. Now obviously my list I don't think is in order, but in top 5 things in Black Myth Wukong, I think scenery is the most important, well, one of the most important. And yeah, I really do hope that every area feels unique and different from what I've seen in the trailers, and they transition and run seamlessly throughout. As with any game, story is so important, and that's what, other than scenery, can carry a game. Story is so necessary, and I'm pretty sure that Black Myth Wukong is going to have such an intricate and beautiful story to tell. Now, while I'm not super versed on the mythology, like I say, I did have a little look, and the synopsis from what I can gather here, and I hope this is correct, is that it follows closely the events of Wu Cheng'en's seminal novel Journey to the West. The work, based on Chinese mythology and Buddhist folklore, follows a monk who meets a spirit called Sun Wukong, often called Monkey King, during his search for sacred religious texts. So I'm wondering if they're going to use that inspiration, or that book is based on that, and then drawing from that. But it seems like if that's the way it goes, probably be based on a lot of translation, as you know, a lot of this is all in Chinese text. People who can read Chinese could probably pick out the information and put together a synopsis for it, unless it's been released somewhere and I've not seen it, so apologies for that. But it seems like that could be the main story element, and possibly reading Journey to the West could be a massive help, which has been suggested to me. So yeah, story wise, I'm not worried at all. I believe that the story, along with everything else, will make this game phenomenal, and you just want to keep playing to find out what happens next and how it ends. So yeah, very exciting. I'm very much looking forward to learning all about the story and the characters and delving deeper in. So yeah, looking forward to learning about all these individual characters. Even the bosses have such uniqueness to them, so yeah, that'd be really cool. As with all games, there is a unique selling point. Black Myth Wukong has done a lot to uniquely sell itself, but the transformations is something that is really intuitive in Black Myth Wukong. It's so important to the game mechanics, the game world, and everything that you'll need to use to traverse this entirety of this game and its lands. And the transformations are so important because they are used in combat out of combat, stealth sections, traversing. Now, while we haven't seen all of the transformations, but the trailer has offered us a glimpse into a massive amount of what the transformations can deliver, and how you can use them in boss fights, in enemy battles, and things like that. So while I don't know all of Sun Wukong's transformations, as again I'm not versed on it, but I'm very excited to see what unique combinations you can come up with, what unique styles you can create, and how fluid and intuitive it will be in combat and in traversing the world. It's so exciting, and that's what really does uniquely sell it for me as well, apart from the story, the atmosphere, and everything like that. The transformations are so exciting, because there's nothing more powerful than being a normal, I say normal, but being someone who's revered as a god, and then being able to turn into something even more powerful and stronger and wipe your enemies out. Now it's time to touch on the monkey in the room, combat. Now, we've gone over pretty much everything, and maybe in my mind I thought, this would be one of the last topics to talk about, but talk about scenery, we're talking about story, we're talking about transformations. You have to talk about the combat. Now, obviously I can't really say, as I'm not a very big Souls player, but I've seen a lot of the Souls games, speedruns, videos, walkthroughs, things like that, and I played Elden Ring, and I can safely say that looking at this game, I wouldn't even start to compare it to a Souls-like game, because honestly, it just doesn't look like it looks like it's going to be difficult, but it also doesn't feel like it would act like a Souls-like game, because this combat is so fast and intuitive, like I say, and transformations are so key. Ability usage, massive amounts of abilities that you obviously get through combat and boss fights, unique block animations, unique dodge animations. So for me, I don't know if this is correct, but I really feel like there's a massive God of War, say, circa 2018 Ragnarok influence. I really feel there's a massive influence there in terms of stylized combat, obviously with a Chinese developer's take, and possibly definitely some Souls inspiration, but I really see that in the combat. Now I could be way off here, way off base, but looking at it, it feels responsive, heavy, but it also feels like impactful. It feels like your attacks matter, and the way you use your attacks matter against bosses and enemies alike. And I really think that God of War had a lot of that going for it, and so does Souls-like. So yeah, that's my take on the combat, but it's going to be so important in this game, and I'm really looking forward to diving in. Musical tracks set the tone for everything. They set the scene, they set the fights, they set the ambience. And you've noticed that throughout this entire video I've had a track playing. This was taken from the newest trailer. That is the final version, and I love this track. I don't know what it's called, but it's a beautiful track, and I'm looking forward to seeing what other tracks that we have in store in the rest of the game. So with that, I've been Boyman Beard, and that has been my top 5 things of Black Myth Wukong. Thank you.